fellow staffers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to brief the listening public on our meeting today with the Senate Protemp of the Liberian Senate. The meeting was called to order, and then there were introductions made, and the Protemp of the Liberian Senate told us that the gay committee reported in that report was signed by Senator Abraham Darrell Long and Senator Henry Tokpa, along with the former Senator of Grand Jida, Senator G. Afonso Gay. In that report, he made us understand that he has put in the issue of the staffer $1 million on the floor of the legislature to the plenary tomorrow. In that meeting, he also mentioned that there are recommendations that he could not disclose to us until the plenary can speak tomorrow. In that meeting, he also mentioned that the finance minister was the one that cut the Liberian dollars component of our salary, which over the years it being a $1 million US dollar for both the senators and the staffer at the grounds of the Capitol, meaning the Senate. We want to be clear to the Senate Protemp, for which we told him in the meeting, being the spokesman of the staffers, the agreed staffer at the legislature, we're clear with him that the plenary is not the chairs and the desks. The plenary constitute members of the Liberian Senate. So we told him to go by the plenary tomorrow. We don't want any other committee to be set up. We don't want any other arrangement. The only arrangement we want from plenary tomorrow should be you restore the Liberian dollar component and the amount be given to all retroactively for the 16 months that the Liberian Senate been owing us. He also told us to exercise restraint and wait for another meeting to come and brief us the outcome of the plenary decision. So I will now use this time to call on all of the staffers at the Liberian Senate to exercise restraint now. We want to lift the ban on the go slow right now and announce to all staffers to report to work beginning tomorrow so that we can all go to our various offices and begin to work up to tomorrow and watch the deliberation of plenary tomorrow as to the decision they will be taking. But we want to assure them that over the years, we've been holding back. We started the issue of this harmonization that our Liberian dollar component, one of our legitimate salary being cut over the years. And the guys from the judiciary decided to follow. Now the judiciary stands to benefit another 3 month arrangement. The previously gave them 3 months. And we are the legislature who started this where we have not received the same. If the Liberian Senate fees that we need to place ourselves ablaze like Archie Pompon, we're not going to do that. If the Liberian Senate fees that we're going to place our living ballot under their vehicles here on the grounds of the Capitol, we're not going to do that. But we want to announce to them that after Wednesday meeting, it is not fruitful as per our mandate to them, as per the demand of our just benefit. We will make this ground very ungovernable. Want to be clear, despite of the threat from the Senate Protemp saying that it is our constitutional right. Thanks to him to acknowledge that we got constitutional rights, the rights to assemble peacefully, the rights to demand our benefit, because what we call it for is our just benefit. We also want to tell the leadership of the Liberian Senate, if they don't have conscience to know that there are senators that did not return that went for elections and some of their staffers currently don't have anything like resettlement, it is no money that they work for over the years that will be given to them as resettlement. They need to have conscience. And we want to send a caveat and a recommendation and appeal to Senator DeLong. Like people were saying that Senator DeLong continue to advocate for people on the basis of a tenure. Now he got legitimate 9 years. This is the first beginning. This is the first challenge to Senator DeLong, because dominantly the staffers, they are situated in his county, Maserati, the biggest county where you got conglomeration of tribes that will take your good work if you perform good. So we're calling on him. There's the issue of staff benefit right now, the 16 months over by the Liberian Senate, because it beats my imagination for Protemp to refer us to the Ministry of Finance, being the sole court responsible for the cut in 1 million. It beats my imagination. And I asked him, where is his oversight? And I also asked the Protemp whether the 1 million were put in the past budget year before going to the Ministry of Finance before it being cut. He didn't answer that question. If that money were being put in the budget passed by the National Legislature and the Minister of Finance cut that money, it is it is the responsibility of the leadership of the Liberian Senate to invite the Minister of Finance to show cause why he removed a legitimate salary for our staff from the national budget. But from the very beginning, the first month up to the 16 months, we have not been receiving our Liberian dollar component salary. We've been receiving the allowance, which is 80%. And last year, when we started this advocacy, the Vice President told us in the presence of the chairperson and executive, Honorable Sir Joseph, because during election processes and things in this country, you see people that will come to serve as humanitarian. Sir Joseph, being the chairperson and executive, was being asked by the Vice President whether the legislature were humanized. He didn't answer the Vice President. That the Vice President decided to constitute a committee from the staff, from the agri staff, and we went to a meeting to CSA where the CSA boss, the Director of Humanization, told us that the legislature was not humanized. So we just want to give you some of the past, and we call it on the Council of Churches. We call it on all diplomatic missions in Liberia. Those of them have been listening to us. Those civil society organizations are always condemning young people's actions. When these things being flared out, they will not come to condemn the actions of the leadership of the Senate. We've been engaging all of the diplomatic process. We've been engaging all of the diplomatic means, and nobody want to come to our aid. We now calling on the Council of Churches. We're calling on the civil society. We're calling on all civil society organizations, former representative, Rufus Novet, Tiawan Ganglo, all of the legal personnel of this country to come to our aid. We're calling on the CSA, the Workers' Union of the CSA to come to our aid. We tired suffering. We've been crying since last year to this year. We want our Liberian dollar. Some of us, we are facing serious difficulties in our home. Some of us have not registered our children. Some of us, no food to our houses. We need our Liberian dollar component that were illegally cut from our just benefit. We want to send this caveat to the leadership of the Senate Wednesday. We don't want anything else. The only arrangement we want on Wednesday from the leadership of the Senate is plenary have agreed to give you people money. How we're going to get the money? That's what we want. All the while in that, anything outside of what I'm saying today to the public, there will be a series of unspecified actions on the grounds of the cabinet. The staffers, members of the press, thank you. Let God save this state.